What's up, gamers? Welcome to another episode of Heroes Charge. That's right, we are back again to bring you back some newer episodes, kind of give you some updates on what's been going on in the game, and hopefully I can give you some good tips to help you out throughout your gaming experience. So, this episode is going to be more about what to do when you need to catch up. Now, the reason I'm saying that I'm playing catch up is because, for those of you who have been listening to the podcast, I haven't been playing as often as I once was, so I wasn't able to really make much videos, and I was kind of focused on lots of other things. But I found out once I came back, for sure, apparently a lot had changed. Apparently, the maximum level is now 110 instead of 105, which is pretty cool. Gives you a reason to push forward. And not only did the level cap reach 110, but even equipment went from stopping at red plus 2 all the way to red plus 4. So definitely a lot more needs to happen. And of course, if your equipment can be red plus 4, that means they had to add some new chapters, which of course, if you look at the campaign, they have. There's now a chapter 20, and I guess not a 21 yet. Well, either way, chapter 20 is available for me. So that's pretty cool. So I can start working on that. As you can tell, I'm not very far at all. I'm guessing I just don't have the right combination of heroes, or I haven't figured it out how to get past this particular spot that I'm at the moment. But the good news is, since I have 3 starred this one, I can farm for this item, the Spectre X, to basically start getting what I need to get myself better equipped. Now, am I going to start promoting people? Because this is kind of where we're at right now. We're 105. We're wondering what's the next step. I mean, obviously we want to level up. I mean, but that kind of goes without saying. So if you want to level up, just do all of your daily stuff. I mean, it's really simple. And when I say daily stuff, go to your left side where it says daily events, and boom, all this stuff right here you want to do. Well, yeah, there you go. So do as many of it as you can. That gives you experience, and then eventually, as time passes, you'll level. Pretty simple. But how do you make sure you're prepared for certain levels? Do we go ahead and push our people from red 2 to red 3? Well, I'm going to give you what I'm going to do. Now, other people do, have their own methods. I personally think that I'm going to stay at red plus 2 until I'm at least level 107, and I'm going to explain why. So, if you go to heroes, we're just going to look at Chaplain to start. Notice that if you look at her gears for red plus 3, when I tap on the very first one that you can look at, it says required hero level 107 to equip this item. Now, I'm the kind of person I don't like pushing someone to the next level until I can equip everything. So, since I'm only level 105, it's going to be a while before I can get to level 107, which means I have time, but I'm not going to pushing her to red plus 3 because I'm going to be missing out on an equipment. Go to her next equipment, see that I would be able to equip once I'm able to get to that level. Um, the next one I can actually equip once I get more Wraith Loricas. And then, of course, the next one I already have. And then the next item I need to get to the level that has this item. So, how do you make sure that you're prepared once you reach that level? Because basically, you want to get all this gear, right? Well, here's my recommendation if you want to try to get these red items. You need, other than, getting as far as in the campaign as possible and just farming whatever levels has what you need, you also need to play War of the Gods a lot. You need to go up as much as you can. I'm currently level 3 because I just haven't been playing, or I wasn't playing. So I have a long way to go. But you need to push in War of the Gods so that when the season's over, you can get some red gems. And then, of course, there are other events that you can do to help you out, like, guild tournament. I believe the championship, if you do well enough, will can give it to you. That's kind of a stretch because not a lot of people can really get that far. But for those of you that can, like, definitely push for that. So there are ways to get red gems. But I'd say the easiest method would probably participate in War of the Gods, participating in the guild tournament. As long as your guild signs up and then you do bets and whatnot, you should be able to get a few at the very least. Speaking of guild tournament, I do have the option right now to place a bet. Of course, our team didn't make it, which is okay. We're not like one of the top, beat them down teams, but we get a couple of wins before we get eliminated, which is what happened. We won twice and then we lost. So we'll bet on the tournament. Now, always do research, kind of look at patterns to see who the best to bet on. Now, here's an awkward situation. Typically, I always bet on Two Face to win. Apparently, they have two different guilds now, which I did not know. So it's kind of like, who do you bet for? So I'm going to probably avoid betting on one of these two and then bet on someone else that might do well. For example, Intensity, at least in our cycle, is pretty good. AP Pirates is pretty good. Actually, I'm going to do AP Pirates because they're usually pretty decent. I'm going to say Doom has always been pretty crazy. So we're going to go ahead and do Doom. We actually lost them in the last round of the preliminaries. Once we actually got so far, and then boom, Doom just knocked us out. And then some of these I'm not familiar with it. I don't like to bet on Intensity twice. Actually, I haven't bet on them at all. Okay, we'll bet on Intensity here. In our particular group, I typically bet on Two Face all the way, but since there's two different Two Faces, we're just gonna avoid that for now. Whoever wins, that's what I'm going to focus on the rest of the tournament. And that's what you guys need to do is just kind of see in your group of servers, check and see who's been constantly doing well and place your bets on them. It just gets annoying when there's multiples of the same guild name, like multiple intensities, multiple Two Faces. Sometimes it's a bit weird to keep up with. Well, either way, so always do your bets. It's always a good thing. Participate in the championship whenever it becomes available. It's not available right now. It's just up for betting, and I don't typically bet. It just doesn't really provide me what I want, and I just don't care. But what we're also going to do here is some other small things. So, for example, we just reset rate 17, I believe our new guild leader did. And if you didn't hear, I did give my guild to somebody else. So it's no longer my guild, but we are a family, so we share together. And I haven't shown me actually doing one of these in a while, so we're going to show how well my team can do on here. Do I have a record on this one? Let's take a look. Probably not. I'm pretty sure all my records are annihilated. Let's see. Yeah, all my records are gone. So, you see immunity to magic, which means that my team's probably going to suck on this one. That's okay. We're going to use my basic team that I've been using for, well, yeah, this team will actually do fine. We'll do that. No, no, I still like Sorceress. Even though there's some damage immunity people, she can kill the ones in the back. So it'll be fine. So let's see how we do here. And I'm going to keep it on 4 times speed because I don't see the reason to procrastinate it. It's going to be just the same repetitive stuff. I mean, the main thing I want to see is how much damage everybody's doing, stuff like that. I probably shouldn't be running Cloudwalker just because him and Bear Warrior kind of clash because Bear Warrior pushes him up, and if he does his special when you're doing auto, then you're not going to hit. So we did about almost 5 million. Vengeance Spirit MVP for over 2 million. I think I should have not ran Cloudwalker, and I could have potentially taken a Sorcerer for somebody else, but let's try something else. We'll do a variety here. I also recommend doing the, guild raids just because it gives you money. I mean, it gives you something. It also gives you items if you need it once you're high enough level. Now we're gonna go ahead and take out those two. We'll try Puppet Master, maybe Ninja Assassin. We'll see what happens. I don't know, I almost never use Ninja Assassin, so we'll give him a little bit of playtime. What I like about Puppet Master is he hits everybody in the same row on the last row. So if everyone's like clumped together, he can do lots of damage, which is part of why I like him so much. Now, for those of you who feel that you need to, get them to red plus three faster, even though you're on level 105 or 106, you can do that. She actually did slightly less damage this time. It seems like some did more than others. It was a little bit weird, but that's okay. But personally, I'm the kind of person that I don't want to be a certain rank but lose out because I'm missing one or two pieces of equipment because I feel like you're weaker in the long run. You're better off being the level previous but have full equipment, full enchanted, than be the next level up but only have like two or three weapons enchanted or armors. So it almost feels like you're weaker when you're promoted higher. Or I think it's promoted. Let me confirm my terminology here. It would be considered, yeah, it'd be considered a promotion. So I just don't feel doing that. I think the best thing to do in this situation is to do the best you can and go as far as you can, 3 stars certain areas to get the items you do need so that by the time you reach level 107 or 108, depending on the hero you're trying to push, you'll already be ready to equip instead of having to wait till you get there and then all of a sudden you're grinding and grinding and grinding for an item you could have grinded for like weeks ago. And it does take a long time to level, so I'm not planning on going up anytime soon. And I'm not even basing this information on her. If I was to go to, let's say, my favorite, which is Divine Knight, look at his items. You have to be 108 to be able to get his. So because of the fact that you have to be level 108, I have time. And the sad thing is I can actually equip this weapon too. However, I got another 3 more levels before that'll ever happen. And that's why right now I'm really not pushing for promotion because I'm just not going to be where I need to be at all. Now the good news is if I was to go red plus two, I could equip this by itself if I wanted to, since it only requires level 105. I could actually equip that. I could equip this once I get enough of these, and then no, I still can't equip that. So I would be missing two pieces of equipment if I were to promote. Some people have a theory of, if you can equip at least 3 or 4 items, go ahead and do so. The way that I see it is I prefer to be able to equip everything, but I have, on some rare occasions, promoted when I've only been missing one item. If you're only missing one item, that can be okay, but overall, if you're only going to have 3 pieces of equipment on or less, not including legendary items, it's just not worth it. So, at least in my opinion, others may have their views and whatnot. So, what else can you do when you're behind? So, even though I'm, behind in level, behind in, all this other stuff. Now, granted, yes, I am level 105, which used to be max, but for the pace I used to run, I'm pretty much behind. I'm going to continue to push on the training field, and I'm still only level 5 as far as the Glory Hall is concerned. I tried to push to level 6, and what ended up happening was I did a video saying that I was going to push. I got distracted. I think something happened in life, and I had built up a lot, and then by the time I came back, I'd lost everything, which just was a complete waste of all the resources that I built. So I just said, screw it. I have enough to continue to push people. So I'm just going to stay at war level 5 until I can figure out a good way to get to 6 without having to sit here and constantly grind and grind and grind because I just don't have time for that. So right now I'm just pushing certain heroes on the training field to be as good as they can. Right now I'm really digging Hidden Needle. I want Bear Warrior, of course, for the guild raids. A Sorceress, obviously, for, you know, PvP and arena. So there's some things in there. As far as forging is concerned, honestly, forging is nothing great because I have all these items, and I don't see the point of using my resources to make items I already have that I don't need. This is probably the one area that I think is probably the most lackluster, is that yeah, I'm forge level 5, but I have all these items. Boo, it just sucks. So that's the thing. But the academy also is where it's at. This is where you stuff really goes hard for you, and this is kind of what I'm going to be relying on to push my heroes as well. So what I've been doing is I've been pushing Hidden Needle and pushing Demon Assassin. I actually am a fan of Demon Assassin. She has helped me in clutch situations in War of the Gods, and I have used her in arena a few times off and on for testing purposes. Haven't quite figured out the best team for her, but seems pretty solid. I like her, so I'm going to continue to push her. So, I've found certain heroes like these two that I'm going to be pushing. And there are other heroes probably in other areas like Vengeance Spirit that I'm going to be pushing. Probably not going to get this one to level 5 because 800,000 of an item. If I can get 800,000 of an item, I should be Warhol level 6 at that point. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So, probably not going to get to that. But I'm trying to see who else I'm actually trying to push. Same thing here too. Damn, I'm just stuck. Man, am I stuck. That's okay. But yeah, look through here in the academy. See what heroes are on there. If there are heroes on here that you use, push to make them better because that's just going to overall make whatever you're trying to do 10 times easier for you, whether it be arena or anything in general. Because these are stat boosts. These are increasing your magic power, your speed, which they call something else in here. I forget because I play like 1,000 different games, so it's hard for me to remember all the terminologies. But look through here, see who's on there, and if it's someone that you use, work on pushing them. And if you don't have enough of the resources, trust me, you can get them. Because, for example, if I wanted to, let's see. Okay, here we go. So for Hidden Needle, I can give her damage boost, but I need 200,000 of two different items. So what I can do is one of two things, or I could do both in all reality. So one, I can go to my furnace, which should be charged by now. Okay, I guess it's not. I actually just used it yesterday, so this is kind of a slow process. But I could go through, see what extra items I have, and if I can get a lot of items by maxing them out, then I will. What I'm looking to do here is if I have enough of any item, like enough to get at least 100k of something, I might go for it. But it doesn't look like I have enough of a lot of these items to do what I want to do, so I'm probably not going to do this right now, which is really unfortunate because I would really like to. Oh, here we go. So I can give 100k to one of these items. So that's really important. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of 7 of the Fanged Harp to. It's going to max out my furnace, which I don't care. But the important thing is I'll have one of my items covered. I have 93,000 of this item, the one on the very left. So if I disassemble to make 122, I should have the 200k at least on one side, and I'll get a little bit on the others as well. So I'll go ahead and make that happen. My furnace is pretty much burnt out. So now I just need to get the second item in the middle that has 73,000. I need to bring that to 200k. So this is what I do. If you've noticed, I have over 161 million gold. I wonder what I could actually possibly spend that on. Hello, Marketplace. Level 4 at the moment. I could push level 5 if I want to. I just don't think it's worth it. Maybe it is, and I just haven't realized it, but I'm content with level 4 for now, which is why I haven't pushed. So I'm going to use coins to get ore. And I'm just going to keep hitting this exchange button over and over until I see the total that's kind of faded on the top side go to 200k. Once it's 200k, I'm going to stop. And I can keep doing this over and over because I can do this 70 times per day. And I'm sure it's not going to take 70 to get me to 200K. And boom, we've already hit it. So there you have it. And I used about 40 million gold to do this. You're thinking, man, that's a lot. It is, but when you're doing the crusade a lot and you're doing the guild raid a lot and doing just lots of things in general in this game, the gold actually comes pretty quickly and pretty easily, especially during certain events. So now that I have that, I can go back to the academy. I can go to Hidden Needle. One, I believe it's the Assassin's Diary level 5. Yes, it is. And boom, I can do research. It's going to take about an hour to complete. So, boom, once this is done, her damage boost is going to go up. And that's awesome. I actually like the fact that the game's found other ways for you to make your characters better, especially when you're not high enough level or you can't get far enough in certain campaigns. This is another way to continue to boost your people. Between the academy and the training field, you have lots of options as far as making your people better. Now, I randomly just picked sorcerers for the heck of it. I didn't actually need to do this. I kind of did this for fun, but that's the thing. So this is more or less what I'm doing as far as catch up is I've grinded enough to get the item that I need in the campaign. Also, do your basic stuff like go to Godfather and get whatever items you need here. Typically, you won't find much if you're level 105. It's really really rare to find anything good. And then, of course, going to chess, doing your daily stuff here. Now, the cool thing right now is now that we're in July, which happens to be my birth month, we have a new hero, Hercules. I don't have him yet, so we're going to go ahead and do this live since this is what I typically do and see how many times it takes for me to get him. All right, so we got one, two, three, four, five, six. There we go. It took 6 times to get Hercules. All right. So boom, we got Hercules, and this is something I recommend doing if you're the kind of person that likes to collect. And I'm a collector, so I want to have all the heroes. Save up, between 2 and 3 thousand diamonds a month if you can, and this is the rewards you get from it. Now I'm down to like 1,700, but the way to more or less farm gems pretty easily, and there's different ways to do it. You get it for rewards in different scenarios. One thing that I always recommend is doing the booty cave. Just collect what you've done here, and then go to whoever is ready, tap on them, put a team in there. And lately, I've been just kind of doing randoms as far as who I add, and I don't mind you seeing it because I'm not trying to make like the ultimate defense team for you to not get past me. It's nothing like that. It's more just the fact that I'm just going to be sitting there for almost 10 hours, and I'm going to get gems whether you attack it or not. So, also, kind of a guild rule of thumb. I'm sure a lot of guilds know this by now, but for those who don't know, the best way to make it to where you don't get attacked or defeated as often, excuse me, I can't even talk this morning, is to if you go to if you go to your lowest levels cave. So for example, I'm 105, Bloody is level 92. I'm going to invade his cave because the way that it works, and I probably mentioned this before, but only people of 5 levels higher or less can attack, which means in this case, only level 97s and below will be able to attack his cave. Now, if I put a decent squad of level 105s, they're not going to be able to beat it, which means that we'll constantly be able to defend and, you know, feel good about ourselves. And I'm more into gold because that's how obviously I boost my stuff in the heroes camp. So I'm always going for the gold. I typically don't need experience because I kind of use my gold to just buy it. So, for example, I buy this, and then of course I buy all of these as well. I earn so much gold on a daily basis that I can just straight up buy these. I don't need to farm them as far as, the booty cave is concerned. So just go ahead and just, do your booty caves 10 hours at a time. High levels join the low levels. That's the best way to do it in all reality, which is why it's okay to have some people that are a little lower level than you in your guild so that you have that balance that makes things easier for everybody. So, just a nice little helpful tip for you guys. I'm trying to think of what else I can show you guys. We still got a little bit of time. In the arena, I've more or less been getting my butt kicked. I've been kind of winning a lot and then losing a lot. So obviously I'm kind of behind. So this is gonna be a thing. So I've been beating certain people but then losing to certain people. I don't have like the great awesome team yet because I'm still not necessarily where I need to be. But I'll go ahead and show a fight just because I want to do arena because this is how I'm going to get experience. So let's do my team here. I'm not 100% sure what my dream team is, but I would like to start running Hidden Needle again, which is why I'm boosting her up. I think she's still really good in Arena. She helps in Grand Arena, that's for sure. I tend to do a lot better in Grand Arena than Arena, as you can tell. Yeah, I got my butt kicked there. I probably should have run Hidden Needle, to be honest, instead of Rose Fencer, but that's okay. Typically, I beat teams that are power 80,000 or less. If we go to Grand Arena, let's see how I'm doing. I'm at 288, so I seem to be doing pretty well. Lasso actually beat this person. So if we go to replay, you can kind of see what happened. And yeah, I actually have Hidden Needle on my first team here. I honestly forget who I put in my Grand Arena because I don't pay a lot of attention to it. But we'll take a look at this fight and see what happened. I usually slow these down just so I can do research to see like who's slacking and who's not. Also, Legendary Soul Hunter is pretty awesome. I kind of wish I'd have done a video about him a while back when I first, got him there. But basically, what happens is when someone dies, actually, I think I did do a video on this. When someone dies, more or less, um, you get skeletons that fight on your side, as you can see. And wow, that was an easy fight for us there. Now, honestly, I don't think that they had a good team. Like, I don't think the person on the bottom that they had was really great. I think that Shadow Leaf, I don't think that she's good in Arena. Now, I know that she can be legendary now, which I'm actually excited to eventually get her legendary to see if she's going to be any good or not. But non legendary, I don't know. Also, Machinist, yeah. And then now I do like Imperial Executioner. That was pretty solid. Ninja Assassin against my Lightbringer wasn't smart, to be honest. And then, of course, you have Death Mage being the tank, which is fine. But obviously, my team did a bit better. Hidden Needle for the win. She just gets in there. She is your DPS in some of your teams. So I'm getting a huge benefit from her in the Grand Arena. Take a look at the next fight. And this is looks like a crappy team too, in my opinion. I don't like Swordmaster personally. And just don't care. Death Mage is actually good. Fallen Dominion's pretty good. Admiral, I have a love hate relationship with her, but I don't think she's that great. And Chaplain, I don't know. If I was attacking someone, I don't think I'd be running Chaplain. I think that's where you would run like, I don't know, Sorceress or Puppet Master, but I don't know about Chaplain. Maybe for defense, but not for offense. So this was an even easier win. And we're all both level 105, so it's not like this was like a level 90 something attacking me. I mean, it's one of those things. But this time it was Vengeance Spirit who was MVP. She's really good on dealing some of that damage. She's got some good control skills as well. You know, she's nothing really to be sad about. And I think the biggest thing that I didn't even mention that I just now noticed, part of the reason that this was a horrible squad to use against me, you ran Chaplain, who's a healer, against Divine Knight, who shuts healers down. I don't know if I even need to say it anymore. You know what I mean? That was just poor judgment on this person's part. You know what I mean? As far as who to use. When you're doing Grand Arena, unless you're just doing it to get your dailies, I guess you don't have to care. But if you're seriously trying to win, you gotta think a little bit better. But this person may have been just attacking for the sake of getting their daily. You know, I'm gonna do the same thing too. So this is instead of just assuming they're bad, I'm gonna do the same thing and just do my daily as well. So we'll try to go for rank. Yeah, we'll go for the 100s. Why not? I'm not gonna win, but actually, you know what? Let's go. No, no, let's go for rank 89. Why not? Not gonna win, by the way, but this should be fun. Let's do it. So, in this scenario, I've never fought these two front heroes that they have. So I have no idea what they're gonna do to me. I'm not, like I said, I haven't been in the game in a little while as far as hardcore, but I know the Vengeance Spirit is gonna be a problem. I know Puppet Master is gonna be a problem. The good thing is I'm not running two backline heroes, so Puppet Master shouldn't hurt me too much. Vengeance Spirit's gonna be a problem, but I think we'll live. Ninja Assassin, I would assume, would be able to do something. My Divine Knight should shut down Cross Knight, and then Death Mage should, or Death Knight should keep me alive here. As far as the second battle is concerned, let's see. So I definitely don't want to run any healers, which I'm not. I'm gonna say Turtle Fighter against Turtle Fighter action's pretty good. The Deathbringer should be able to help against Tarot Prophet. So, sucking up those clones. This is actually a pretty good squad. The only thing to me that's kind of awkward is Griffin's really bad against a Turtle Fighter because basically when Turtle Fighter rolls over, Griffin will usually turn around in the beginning trying to hit, Turtle Fighter instead of someone else. So I may need to switch something up here. But yeah, no, we're just gonna go balls to the wall and just let it be because why not? Now I should rerun probably a backline hero, but they would just die to the rabbit, so we're not gonna worry about it. So let's go back to all. And yeah, as far as RNG is concerned, the rabbit always kills my backline hero. It knows who to hit. It's never I'm lucky. It doesn't work that way. And then this is just my crappy third team. Basically, I have someone in the front that when he dies, it lowers their energy, their gauge, and then when Master Mage dies, she gets her gauge, and all kinds of good stuff happens. That's the thing. Although what I could probably do is instead of running this guy, run Turtle Fighter, because I've seen people do this and it seems kind of successful. We're gonna try something interesting. And then I am going to run a backline hero just to kind of show you guys that this is a terrible idea. I was trying to think of who, because I'm kind of behind on good heroes. Definitely not Chaplain, because they have, Divine Knight, so that would be stupid. So it's going to have to be Witch, unfortunately, and I don't know that Witch is going to do a lot, but we'll see. Apparently I'm allergic to this game. Mental note. Alright, so let's see what happens here. This is more for funsies, but we'll see what happens. Oh, shoot, slow down. I kind of want to see what happens at a slower rate here. So actually, I seem to be doing okay so far. I mean, my guys are weak, but I think I think we're even. Okay, I think we're losing now. It's gonna go to time, it seems. Oh no, they killed me. So what was the end result here? So the guy that's on the second to the top, I don't know the names, I'm not familiar with them, and the guy in the middle on their side, they both were really some heavy hitters there. So pretty interesting. On my side, Divine Knight actually was the MVP for damage, which is not typical. So they really shut down my Death's voice pretty well. Ninja Assassin didn't do nearly as well as I would have liked. And of course, Puppet Master, he did his thing, but you can only do so much. So there you go. So let's go to the next fight, see what happens. Again, I'm not really expecting to win. This is more for funsies, but we'll see what happens. And of course, Turtle Fighter went, or Griffin went to their Turtle Fighter and died automatically. Oh yeah, I just got annihilated. Didn't even get to see my third team, but I gotta be honest, that look at that 260k damage. Pretty strong for Demon Assassin. So she's pretty good on DPS. She really is. It's just the rest of my team didn't seem to do enough. So that's the thing. Like I said, Griffin sucks against Turtle Fighter. I should have took him out, but whatever. I could have put in just about anybody else and that'd have been 10 times better. Probably Imperial Executioner if I ever can get him a red. So obviously I failed here. But like I said, do these on a daily basis because it does give you, you know, experience so you can level up. So, do as many daily events as possible. Also, since the game has been updated, they now have new difficulties, difficulty 10 and 11. Now, this is like the only one, Lord of Caves, I haven't done difficulty 9 on. And I'm not really going to push for it today. But my point here is just, do everything. Now, I will share with you guys the teams that I've used to beat certain areas because I like the fact that they give you team presets. So, Dwarf Arsenal, difficulty 10. And let's see, Robot Fighter, difficulty 10. These are teams that I've been successful with, and this is at their power. You know, Robot Fighter is not difficult, but you do need the right heroes if you're doing difficulty 10, and I can't do difficulty 11. I know that for sure. So, but for difficulty 10, I've been able to do it. The Robot Fighter, which I think is the only one that I've done as far as those dungeons that Singe every day. Title Temple, I believe I've done on difficulty 10 with this team. Valkyrie Showdown, that was difficulty 9, so ignore that. But Title Temple, this is a team that you can use, so if you want to take notes, try this team out. Same with the Robot Fighter, same with Dwarf Arsenal. Those are the three that I've completed on difficulty 10. So, and what I'm going to do is as I beat other on difficulty 10, I will put them on here and then I will show you guys so you guys can, get up there. Now, notice on Robot Fighter, a lot of these people that I got up there with are orange. So that proves how not so difficult it can be. But difficulty 10 is no joke. So, I think my lowest guy is orange plus 2, which would be Disease Bringer. It looks like Succubus and Poison One, I think it's called. So that's pretty cool. So there you go. You have a start as far as doing difficulty 10. Try to push, for all the other ones. I haven't done it myself. I'm going to probably have to do some research to see what teams I need to use or just start, messing with it myself. Because usually I mess with it myself to see if I can be creative. And then if I can't do it, then I actually do some research on YouTube to see who else has done it, what they use, and then kind of make a team based off of what they do. Now, I don't always do an exact replica of what other people do because I don't always have the heroes that they have at red. So I may have to mix and match a little bit. And if I do, well, regardless of how the end result is, you're going to see what team I use. So I think that this is one thing in my videos that I've never done is shown, what teams I've done for Outland Portals and advanced instances. But I think that if I do it, especially for difficulty 10 and 11, I think that's going to help you guys a lot, those that are not ahead of me already. Well, I hope that this has been an informative video. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video at this point. This is just kind of the basics as far as how to catch up. A couple of key points is do all of your daily stuff, which means do crusades, do War of the Gods as often as possible to get red stones to help you get certain items faster. Don't rush into promoting to red plus 3 and 4 because you're not high enough level to get it anyway. And yeah, that about sums it up. So next time, we'll see what improvements I've made. And until then, you guys take it easy.